Ohio college students will face voting barriers with the new Ohio voter ID laws.
When we had the passage of House Bill 458, there are new ID requirements, and it will impact students quite a bit, actually, because now you're required to provide a photo ID.
This law is a big change from previous election years where students could use their utility bills provided by their university.
So you must have a photo ID, whether it be a valid driver's license, and it must be Ohio issued. So for a lot of students, they may not have an Ohio driver's license or an Ohio ID card. But what you might have is a passport or a passport card. Also, if you don't have a state ID card but would like to get a state ID card, you can go to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. There's a couple of locations here in Portage County, and for free, you can have a state ID card issued for you that can be used for voting.
The number of college-aged voters is already low. According to Circle's 2022 midterm election data, 21.6% of eligible voters between the ages of 18 and 25 came out to vote.
Saying it's pretty clear that this legislature doesn't want students to vote. They're making it harder, and the best message is they don't want you to vote. That's a really good reason to vote. And they don't want you to vote because they know that you will stand up for young people, for students' access to education. You'll stand up for civil rights. You'll stand up for women's rights to choose. You'll stand up against the gun lobby. All things that they don't believe, so they want to make it harder to vote.
So this law could affect the voter turnout in Ohio unless voters get their Ohio IDs now.
We know that despite that rhetoric and conversation, that rates of false voting, of voter fraud, are actually very, very small and slim to none. So this was passed to address a perceived problem, but I do think that it will have particularly targeted, unintended, but targeted effects on young people.
One option for all students is to request an absentee ballot to vote in the May primary on the 2nd. Make your request by April 24th.
I think as a student, you also need to know that if you can't quite meet the qualifications to vote here in Portage County, depending on where you live in another state or your home county, if you're registered there, you also have the option to vote there and not have to worry about that ID component as well.